Hey everyone, welcome to the most exciting adventure of the year, building a totally off-grid wooden house. Over the next 30 days, I'm going to turn my dream of living in the great outdoors into reality. Get ready for some hilarious moments, valuable lessons, and maybe a few surprises along the way. Buckle up for a fun ride. So day one is all about planning. I sat down with a blank piece of paper and a pen, ready to sketch out my vision. After about 30 minutes, I realized I'd only managed to draw some weird squiggly shapes that definitely didn't look like a house. But hey, it's all about creativity, right? I ended up with a pointed roof, big windows, and a hole for a chicken. Don't ask me why, but I suddenly thought I needed a chicken. I also started looking into different types of wood. Turns out, pine is the way to go for folks like me. Lightweight, easy to work with, and not too pricey. But if you ask me about other kinds of wood, I only know coconut wood. So, picture me trying to build a house out of a coconut tree. After a few days of research and prep, it was finally time to buy some wood. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, I was totally overwhelmed by all the options at the store. The sales guy looked at me like I'd just landed from another planet when I asked, "Which wood is best for building an off-grid cabin?" He just shrugged and said, "They're all good, but watch out for the price." In the end, I decided on some pine and a bit of oak. I haggled a bit, because who doesn't love a good bargain? And I managed to get enough wood, but I still had to save money for food. So for the next week, I was living off instant noodles and tap water. What a gourmet diet. After 5 days of waiting and prepping, I was finally ready to lay the foundation. I'd watched a bunch of videos online and felt pretty confident. But wow, reality hit hard. I had to pull out measuring tapes, a hammer, and a ton of tools I didn't even know the names of. As I tried to mark where to lay the bricks, I realized the ground was anything but flat. After a whole lot of struggling, I ended up with a slanted foundation. Maybe I should call it the slanted house foundation. Just a couple of rocking chairs and I'd have a trendy cafe. By day 15, I felt like a pro. I decided it was time to frame the house. I invited a few friends over for help, but they all politely declined. They said they didn't want to get stuck in my off-grid cabin, and honestly, I couldn't blame them. So, I was left to tackle this one solo. When I started framing, I quickly realized I needed way more than just a hammer. It turned into a slapstick comedy. I dropped a nail on my foot and yelped like a cartoon character. Then I dropped a big beam and thankfully nobody was around to see it. If they had been, I'd have become the punchline of the day. By day 20, I was feeling pretty confident. I decided to put the roof on the cabin. But let me tell you, it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. The wind was blowing like it was trying to launch me off the roof. I ended up using some ropes without knowing how to tie them properly. Once again, I had to dig through the kids' toy bin for some play ropes. Standing on that roof, I felt like a superhero. But then, a strong gust of wind nearly knocked me off balance, and I almost took a tumble. Thankfully, I managed to grab onto a wooden beam just in time. No one was laughing at me this time. Finally, after all that hard work on the exterior, I started focusing on the interior. I hit up some thrift stores to find furnishings. I found a bunch of quirky stuff, but nothing could top this chair I thought would be my masterpiece. When I got the chair home, I realized it was actually a dish cabinet. I had to get super creative to turn it into a chair. After an hour of wrestling with tools, I ended up with what I called a unique chair. It might look a bit odd, but I was proud of my DIY skills. Finally, the day I'd been waiting for had arrived. The cabin inauguration. I invited a few friends over to celebrate. They looked at my cabin and couldn't help but shake their heads. "Did you really pull this off?" they asked, half joking. "No electricity, but we've got a cabin," I declared proudly. I whipped up a little spread with bread and soda. We all sat around, chatting and enjoying the simple food. Even though the cabin was without electricity, it was filled with laughter and good vibes. Everyone was snapping pics for social media with me next to my quirky cabinet chair, and there you have it. Thanks for joining me electricity. It also needs laughter, friendship, and great memories. If you're thinking about taking on a project like this, get ready for some funny moments. No electricity, but tons of fun. Catch you in the next adventure.